This is a great truck straight out of the box, but if you are planning on drag racing, you might want to consider making some changes. 7 scale upgrade drag racing part 2. So what's up everybody? I'm your boy OG from OGRC Drag Racing. We got this truck sitting here and we're not going to waste no time. We are going to get straight into it. You will have to make some changes to this truck if you are really planning on doing some really serious drag racing. You don't have to go all out just yet and change the chassis. You don't have to do that just yet. You might want to continue to use the chassis that's on this truck, but change some of the other things. Well, let me show you some of the things that I'm planning on doing to this truck. One of the things that I'm going to go into is the front suspension. And I just want to show you the diff. One of the first things I will be doing is changing that diff to a lock diff. Got to open up the screws, take all of this stuff apart to get that diff out. One of the things you want to definitely do if you planning on using the Infraction as a drag truck is lock the diff front and back. And you can go onto this website and get you the lock kit that would help you to get that done. Anyway, that's the website. That's what you would need to. Those are steel. That's a steel kit right there. So that's what you would need to get. Now let's take a look at the rear. This is the rear. Pretty much the same thing. Like I was saying, you want to lock that diff. Lock that rear diff just like you would have did the front diff. So you're going to lock the rear diff. Also, another part that's going to be changed, let's just flip it over, and that is the hinge pin support, which will be the hinge pin. The hinge pin is inside the hinge right here, but this is the hinge pin support right here. We're going to put one in that has 0 degree because you don't want any toe in or out on that rear wheels. You want those wheels to be straight, and we're going to replace that rear hinge pin support bracket with a 0 degree toe. So you can also get that from the same website, EM Performance. You can go right there and get this. Is going to run you about $31. Kind of like want to make sure you can see what that is. A screw here, and you got another screw right there. You take those 2 screws out. This part will slide out, and you just add the new one on and re-put the screws back in, and you are all set. So that's some of the things that you would need to do if you are planning on upgrading that Infraction truck. That's like, I'm talking about like the one just sitting right behind me, sitting right there. So I just want to give you heads up on some of the things that you could do without even having to change the chassis. So you could just do stuff like this. You just want to turn that vehicle into a drag racing beast. Then these are some of the things you would do. Lock those diff front and rear, change that hinge pin support holder right there into a 0 degree, and now on to the next thing. This is another thing that you might would want to consider changing, would be the motor, especially to a censored motor. So you would want to change the motor. You're not going to want to run a stock motor. And on to the next thing. Part right here would be also replace. You would remove these end caps on the end and replace that shaft with a titanium shaft. So you can't see the shaft because it's on the inside. Running through here, the shaft that holds all of this stuff on here, there's a shaft. All of this stuff is on. You would replace that shaft. I call it the center spool, but this is the spur gear. These are the bearings, and all of this stuff is sitting on a shaft. So what you want to do is take all of this stuff off and replace the shaft with a titanium shaft. And then you can put all of this stuff back on that titanium shaft. And that's the titanium shaft right there. In fact, I bought the whole kit, and this is also included on the kit. I want to make sure that you know that this is something else that you would do. You would change those wheels off and put some foams on there. It's all part of getting this infraction ready for drag racing. This was in one of the cars that I had took apart, so you would definitely want to get maybe a little bit more better servo than this, especially for these high-powered, fast-moving cars. I'm not saying that you have to go all out and break the bank and change everything. Make small changes. We never have extra money, but when you have some money that you can throw at this, if you're going all out trying to, upgrade it make it into a drag truck, you definitely would probably change those electronics too. Turning this into a drag beast, you're gonna be dropping that Castle, that, other companies that I mentioned, you're gonna be dropping their stuff into this trucks. Also, a shout out to one of the viewers from the last video. He had brought it to my attention that I said chastity and I said chassis. So he brought it to my attention that chastity is a woman who saves herself for marriage until she get that ring on her finger before she get intimate. So that's what chastity means. And chassis is the framing part of a car. So I was saying chastity instead of saying chassis. So anyway, brother, I appreciate that correction. Appreciate it very much. And at the same time, I would like to also give a shout out to all of the chastities out there who have waited and decided that they would wait for marriage before they go any farther. And I commend you on saving yourself for marriage. Peace, and I'm out of here.